Good afternoon, everybody, on this fine Wednesday, November 20th, which gives us officially 17 days of AEP left. We're going to get started here in just a few minutes. We're going to let everybody trickle in, and then we will jump right in to our Wisdom Wednesday. All right, Brandon, I think we can go ahead and get started. I do see some new names on this meeting. So my name's Courtney. I'm with National Contracting Center. I am their Strategic Partnership Manager. And this is Brandon Hall. He is with National Contracting Center as well. Brandon, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome into our Wisdom Wednesday. As Courtney said, my name is Brandon Hall. I think my title today is Learning and Development Manager, so we'll go with that for today.
That's why I erred on the side of caution right there. That was it.
Absolutely.
But guys, we're going to run through things fairly quickly. You are able to come off of mute. So if you have a question, comment, concern, or just want to share an experience with us, please unmute yourself. We'd like for this to be as interactive as possible. And we're kind of gonna bite the head off of the elephant here because this AEP has been something. I made this slide and just put what hasn't happened because the list is so much smaller. It has not been a simple AEP. It has not been calm. And it has been anything but business as usual. I am dubbing this AEP the AEP of pivots. We have had to pivot more than Ross in the stairwell, and it has been very interesting. But we're pretty quick on our feet, which is why having an FMO like National Contracting Center is of benefit to you. If you think you're lost in the sauce, give us a call. We'll help you find your way out. We'll give you some other ideas, other carriers or products to sell based on the situation. But this AEP has really made us step in to prove our value with some of those very high level questions from plans that are exiting to plans that are no longer paying commissions. We've had it all and everything in between. Tons of network disruptions this year. So again, if you're in an area of high churn, that's really the only way I have to say it. We're kind of doggy paddling behind the cruise ship right now. But if you're in one of those high disruption areas, please give us a call. One of our sales development managers, myself, Brandon, any member of the NCC staff, we're here to help you through that and help you, find the right carriers, the right plans, and make sure that your clients do have exactly what they need.
Courtney, one thing I will say too is from an FMO perspective, we've seen several AEPs in years past where there've been disruptions, there's been random CMS rules thrown out. This year, while it has been more challenging, hasn't really been it has been different. But we've got the team here that can help navigate through that. And if someone's trying to navigate through this by themselves, goodness gracious, I know every one of us here at National Contracting Center has been on the phone throughout this AEP, strategizing, talking, going through, like Courtney said, finding different carriers, different plans, things that we can help you push your business forward. So feel free to reach out to us at any time. You're not alone. We don't want you, the thing that we don't want is we don't want you to feel like you're on an island by yourself. And so we are here to help you in any way possible, even if it's things other than, Medicare Advantage. I mean, we've helped agents with life, final expense, critical illness, short-term health, any of the ancillary policies, things like that. And I know I don't want to jump too far because I saw the slides ahead. We are going to talk about some of that stuff, but we are here for you. So we want to make sure that we hammer that home for sure. But this has been, according to your point, I think we dubbed this AEP the AEP of pivot.
And I'm going to liken it a little bit to the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. Just when you think
Oh
you're
my
getting
goodness.
somewhere, it starts to buffer, and that's kind of where we're living right now.
Yeah.
But we pick it back up. We pick it right back up. If you want to go ahead and switch slides for me there, Brandon. Okay. So these are some ideas for post AEP. Part of the struggle of this AEP is getting to every client that has a question, that has an issue with their plan, that has maybe a plan that's exiting or they're losing their network. They're not able to go to the hospital that they like to go to anymore. Post AEP, you still have OEP, which is January 1 through March 31st. And you still have a multitude of special election periods, SEPs. Some examples of those are the moving SEP. So if you have a client who is moving to a new service area, they are moving to a place where maybe their plan is no longer available, or a place that has new plan options. They have a 2 month period after the move in which they can change their plan. They also have a period 1 month before their move in which they can change their plan. So it's a 3 month period overall, 1 month before and 2 months after their move, that they can make an enrollment into a new Medicare Advantage or prescription drug plan. If they retire, if they come off of group coverage, they have a 63-day window to pick up a new plan. If they're fresh into Part B, they have a whole new initial enrollment period available to them. So lots of options there with retirement to really nail down what that client is going to qualify for. If you're unsure, please call us. I'm probably going to ask you about 17 different questions, but I want you to have the most amount of time to enroll your clients into a plan that best meets their needs. We've also seen this particular SEP used so much. Every time we turn around, there seems to be some type of natural disaster, hurricane, fires. We've seen it for some really crazy things. I think baby food formula was probably my most eye-opening FEMA declared disaster. But if you are affected by a disaster, you have a period of time that if you missed an enrollment period during that disaster, to use that enrollment period. So let's look at the states that were affected by Hurricane Helene. That disaster, just in Georgia alone, went through October 30th. So from the end of October, for an additional 3 months, they have an SEP to enroll into a new plan. If they did not use their AEP election, because AEP starts October 15th, if they didn't have the ability to make an election even clear through to December 7th, December 7th, December 9th is my mom's birthday. It gets very confusing in my brain. Anyways, December 7th, if they didn't make that election, they have that extended SEP for that disaster if they were affected by Hurricane Helene. So that's a great option for a lot of people. And then if people have, a significant change in income, either for the good or for the bad, they would have a 3 month SEP in which they would be able to change their Medicare Advantage plan, assuming they are now eligible for a different type of plan. Maybe they're now eligible for a DSNP plan. They're now Medicaid eligible. Or maybe they've had a huge win, won the lottery, got their scratch off, hit $1 million or something, and now they're eligible to come off of that Medicaid Medicare plan. They're eligible to come off of that DSNP plan. They would have a 3 month period in which they could do that as well. The one thing I want to take a second to note is that our normal D-SNP enrollments are gone. So you can no longer enroll somebody once per quarter just because they are dual eligible. They would need to qualify for a different type of special election period. I will say this, Brandon, most people who are lower income, once they're into their 60s, they probably do have a chronic condition, and that would qualify them for a C-SNP plan and that special election period.
Yeah, that's something that this year is going to be a big change in how we look at D-SNPs. But I think with the advent of bringing more C-SNPs into the markets and our aging population having more chronic illness, I think we're going to see a lot more being able to move with that and to use that SEP as well. And I'll say this for those that are on the call and maybe that are watching later, the SEPs that Courtney has listed on the screen there, that's not an all-inclusive list. There's a lot more. So if you have a question or if you're wondering, can I enroll someone, or is there a way I can get this person on a policy, give us a call. Let us, like Courtney said, ask you a million questions, because each carrier has a list of SEPs that they use. CMS puts out SEPs they use. We'll go through, we'll help you find a way to get it done. And we don't want you, again, I'll say it again, we don't want you to be out there on an island. And so knowing that there's more out there that we can look at, set up some time to talk with us. Give us a call. We all have our Calendly links in our signatures. So set up a time to talk with us, 15, 30 minutes, whatever time you need. But let's talk through some of this if you have those. If you need to run scenarios by us. I know sales development, they thrive on that. They love setting up time with agents to run scenarios, case studies, those types of things. But the SEPs are going to be I think, Courtney, probably a bigger, we're going to use them more next year to try and find more business to write.
Absolutely. And really, the reasons are out there. But I can't stress it enough. We're probably going to play 20 questions with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's really for the benefit of your client so that we find the right election period and the best plan for them. So again, if you have any questions, give us a call. We'll walk you through any of the, I don't know, we're probably upwards of at least 50 different SEPs, if not more, because there's little variance within each one. So give us a call if you need some help with that. Also, what is going to be important to you is building your book of business outside of AEP. What we have learned in this AEP of pivots is you have to have a very well-rounded portfolio. Don't get caught with your feet straight up and down on the ground. Be ready to move. Be ready to pivot. Be ready to take your ball and go home. I just be ready to do something. And these ancillary plans, in these ACA plans, they're really going to help you build a very lasting book of business, where you're not so stressed out if one plan decides to be no longer commissionable, or if you're not going to be able to market in a way that you're used to marketing. Because once clients are in your book of business, regardless as to what plan they have, they are your client. It gives you so much more freedom to communicate with them, to educate them, to build that rapport and ask for referrals. I just made a post on LinkedIn. We posted something about asking for referrals. And, my theory has always been you are your brand. But when we really look at referrals, those are walking 5-star reviews just for you. That is the best version of Yelp that you could ever get. So please ask for referrals. Use that to your advantage. If there's somebody who's an ACA client, I bet they have a mom or dad or grandma or auntie, uncle, cousin, nephew, maybe some friends that are Medicare eligible. Maybe they have somebody who would be interested in a cancer plan because of a recent loss of a family member or friend. Maybe they need life insurance. Life insurance is not something that you can sell at the same appointment as you talk to them about Medicare. However, it is a great reason for a 30, 60, 90-day follow up to talk to them about protecting themselves and their family. The biggest elephant in the room on these plans is how to sell a cancer plan. A lot of people think it's kind of taboo to talk about it. I would almost guarantee you that if you bring it up, everybody's had enough experience with cancer in one way or another that they're going to seriously consider it. They're not going to be off put by that conversation like so many of us think that they are. They're going to take it to heart. They're probably going to grab, a maybe just a $10,000 policy, which you can probably get for somewhere around $25 a month with any of our carriers. Maybe they have a little bit more money. Maybe you help them move from a Medicare supplement to an Advantage plan, saved them $150 a month, and they want a $50,000 cancer plan. Bring it up. The key to selling any of these products is to talk about it. If you don't talk about it, you don't give your client a chance to say yes or no. Short term care plans. A lot of them have a prescription drug benefit involved with them. So if they go get their drugs filled, their prescription drugs filled, they can honestly almost pay for the plan in itself. They're reasonable. They're not too crazy expensive. Their underwriting is not extensive whatsoever. Pretty much if they're living on their own, they can qualify for a short-term care plan. Again, the key there is to talk about it. And Brandon, I'm going to let you share your thoughts after this, but the key to any of these ancillary plans is to make them affordable. Don't sell them for your paycheck. Sell them to benefit your client and get paid because you did your job. Don't sell somebody $1 million life insurance policy when every once in a while they worry about keeping the lights on. That's not going to work out to your benefit. Sell them what they can afford, what is going to benefit themselves and their family, and those referrals are what's going to end up paying your bills and helping you put money in your savings, etc. But please make sure that you keep all of these plans well within the means of what your clients can afford.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm reminded of a segment of our, well, we recently posted it in a referral video, which shameless plug is on our YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and look up NCC Agent, it's there. But also it was from our sales summit that we had, I don't know, 6 weeks ago or so, where we had some of our top agents on to share how they run their business. And one of the themes that was on there that ran through pretty much everyone that talked was doing the right thing for your customer. And sometimes that means, and this struck some as odd, but sometimes it's meaning doing free work, meaning you talk to someone, you counsel them, you talk to them about it, and maybe you put them in a plan that is non-commissionable because it's the best one. But because you do the right thing, the referrals flow in, the commissions from other products roll in. I know one agent, he said he's been paid 10 times over on referrals because he did the right thing. And I think that is where we as agents look at, we always look at the bottom line, we look at our paycheck. But I think what Courtney was saying, if you do what's right by the customer, then the money will come and then the referrals will come from that, because those customers, they like the product they have, they can afford the product they have, and it stays on the books. And those are things that up front we never really think about. But if you sell a customer a policy and it falls off the books in a couple of years, did we do anything? But if you've got a customer that buys a policy, and it stays on the books for 4 or 5 years, you've done something. And they're going to refer mom, dad, cousin, friend, whoever to you. And I think that's something we got to keep in mind. Courtney, when you were talking a minute ago about ACA clients that may have a mom or dad that's Medicare eligible, I was thinking on kind of the other way. If an agent hasn't gotten into the ACA field but is a Medicare agent, those Medicare customers have sons, daughters, grandchildren that could be ACA eligible if they need it. Now, some people have employer coverage, and that's great, but there's a lot of business out there on the ACA side, and we have a dedicated ACA specialist here at National Contracting Center that will walk you through the process. I'm amazed at the amount of time that she takes with the agents that she talks with, gets on the phone with them one-on-one, walks them through signing up for the enrollment platform, Health Sherpa, walks them through scenarios, talks through them. So if you're not selling ACA, that's something to think about. And Courtney's got it on the screen here. That open enrollment runs concurrent with AEP, but also extends through January. So Medicare AEP stops in December, but ACA open enrollment continues into January. So if you're a dual purpose agent, let's call you that, and you're running both sides, you've got opportunity to make money through the holidays into January, and push on. And one last thing here, Courtney, and then we'll move on. But you mentioned it earlier, and I think we need to hone in on this, and we say it pretty much every time we talk on these Wisdom Wednesdays. But branding of yourself is a big proponent of business. And if you're not talking about what you do to people, if you're not showing people what you do, you're missing a lot of money out there. If you're not going to events, if you're not going to farmers markets, if you're not going to holiday, I think here in Chattanooga they had a holiday market downtown where people were set up. But I saw a couple Medicare agents here in Chattanooga that had booths set up. They weren't talking anything other than stuff about the farmers market. I mean, they had vegetables on their tables and stuff like that, but they were handing out cards, they were meeting people, they were building referral networks. And I mean, they had their name tags on, they had badges, they had asked me about Medicare, these types of things. But if you're not doing stuff like that, you're missing the boat. If you're expecting people to come to you because you're licensed and you have an agency, you might get a few, but if you get out and beat the streets for a little bit, you can come up with a bunch of referral partners that will help you grow your business for years to come. Because once they start sending you people, if they know you, they like you, and they trust you, they'll send people to you routinely.
Not agree more. Just like all these different types of plans, they all intertwine. They all feed each
Mm-hmm.
other. That's kind of the way your referral network works, especially if you're looking at business to business referrals. You scratch my back, I'm going to scratch yours. There's tons of businesses out there that don't want anything to do with insurance. There's some insurance businesses out there that don't want anything to do with Medicare or ACA. Use those people to your advantage and refer back and forth. That's really the key in making everything work. But as we go to the next slide here, we're going to kind of go back to branding because we're always looking for the next lead. We're always looking for the next best way to advertise ourselves. The cheapest way to advertise yourself is you, 100% every single time. Whether it is just your brand on a polo or a t-shirt or handing out business cards, maybe you have a magnet on the side of your vehicle that says, ask me about your insurance or whatever it may be. Use that. Take those low cost opportunities and make those be the driver to your continued success. In addition to that, please follow up with your clients. If you're having a hard time finding time to do that, do it in your car between appointments. If you have a personal appointment and you feel kind of chatty, do it then. Just find some time to make some calls and just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Miss Smith, this is Courtney. I just wanted to check in on you. Your ID card should be coming any day now. We had an agent do that today. She called me when I was picking up one of the kids at school and said, 'Well, just found out somebody changed the plan.' How do I change her back?" She wants to come back. She didn't really want that plan, but she felt pressured into it. Well, it's simple this time of year. Let's just take a new app, and that's fine. But she wouldn't have known that had she had not called to follow up with her client. Welcome calls are important. Client retention calls are important. And the one thing that you do within each one of those phone calls is when you have a happy client, you, Brandon,
Ask for referrals.
that's it. That's your key. Always be prepared for your next appointment. Check your app statuses, make sure everything is processing. This time of year it gets a little crazy, but don't lose business due to an oversight. Social media is huge right now. We're really coming into that time where our seniors are very, very tech savvy. They're all over Facebook and any of the other multitudes of social media. Use that to your advantage. Um,
Courtney, one thing I'll say there on social media, anyway, because there's more people on there, a lot of people are emboldened to just share stuff, and you'll notice as agents, especially as you start learning more about the business and about what you sell, there's a lot of information out there against what we do, and some of it is false or misleading in what it's saying. And I'm very tempted every year to jump in the comments and defend and just go after the person sharing it, right? However, going back to branding, it's not just signage and shirts and signs and magnets. It's also your digital presence, and what you do online matters. And so if you're posting on something as an agent, so maybe you have a business page as an agent page, protect that and make that not sacred, but protect that brand. But also keep in mind what we do as on our personal pages. Your clients see that as well, because if you're friending all of your people on both your personal and your business page, they see that, and that can be a distraction. So I like the way you have it on here, Courtney. Work on your social media, because it's not a one and done. And fight the urge to. I've never met anyone that changed their mind via a social media post. I'll be honest. And we've just come through a very difficult time through the election. You all have seen all sorts of social media stuff. I've seen some agents that have delved into that, and it's interesting because I wonder how their clients see that. So just be careful with the social media. It can be a huge advantage over other agents that are not using it, but it only takes one post to go viral. And if you have a comment under that, or maybe it's your post that goes viral, it can take you the other way too.
I think, and from somebody who doesn't do a lot of social media, that's me. I think the key is to use the internet the way that you would present yourself in
Mhm.
public. If you're not going to say that to somebody's face, you're not going to act that way if you're out in public, probably shouldn't do that on social media. Not a good look. Just kind of keep that in your mind. Check yourself every once in a while if you feel that you need that. Most people don't, but sometimes somebody else's post is just going to get to you a little bit. So you gotta kind of stop and think about that. It's just our little bit of advice to make sure that you stay professional, because I do think people make decisions based off of social media. I just don't
Mhm.
think they're ever positive. I think that's the biggest difference that you'll see.
And
So
last thing on that, if anybody has questions or needs help on that, we do have an online presence guide on our website, nccagent.com. We also have a Facebook toolkit that if you don't have a Facebook business page, it shows how to set that up. Us in the marketing department would be glad to talk to you about that, how to use it, what to do. CMS has compliant approved posts that you can use, so you don't really have to create anything. You can just share CMS's post. So if you have questions on that, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be glad to help you with that.
absolutely. And these last two things are insanely important. Be organized. Organization saves you time. Time saves you stress. It just all feeds into each other. So be as organized as you possibly can. And everybody's organization is going to look different. You don't have to do something somebody else's way. For you, be organized. I know just in my own house, there are two vastly different types of organization.
Yep.
So just keep that in mind. Do what works for you, but make sure that you're organized as much as possible. And coming up this time of year, if you need a break, recognize it, take it. Don't run yourself into the ground. We don't want anybody getting sick. We don't want anybody really just absolutely exhausting yourself. If you need a break, take a break. That's cool. It works. Sometimes it's just, a simple real lunch. I know probably between the NCC staff, we're losing what that really means right now, but we also all know that come December 7th, we get real lunches. So we
Yeah.
get to take a break. Have something to look forward to. Take your breaks, do what you need to do. That's going to keep you fresh. It's going to keep you on your toes so that you're ready to pivot at any given point. So please just keep all these things in mind. And I can promise you, if you just follow these bullet points on this screen to your best ability in your own way, you will have success. You absolutely will be successful. And this is the part where we say that we want to hear from you. If you're concerned about something, if you want to talk about something that's really been successful to you so that you can get some accolades for those successes, it's lonely out there sometimes. Or if you just want to talk about something you need help with, please come off mute, voice your opinion. We'd love to hear from you. While you decide whether or not to unmute yourself or type in the chat, I do want to let you know that everything Brandon and I talked about today are going to have much more detailed webinars, blog posts, one-page handouts, etc., going into 2025. Once we get through AEP, we really work on next year's content and posts and deliverables. So please stay tuned with us. View our content calendar. Is that what you call it, Brandon, on our website? And I don't know.
Yeah, we'll go with it. Event
I'm making
calendar.
things up.
That's what
Yeah.
it is. It's called event calendar now.
View our event/content calendar, and you can register for as many Wisdom Wednesdays, town halls, additional trainings that we have. If you're in an area where we do face-to-face events, which is pretty much anywhere in the Southeast, please look out for those. We'd love to see you in person, feed you, get you some drinks, have some fun with you. It would definitely be worth your while to come out and meet any member of the NCC staff.
I guess now would be a good time to also say that this will be the last Wisdom Wednesday for this year.
Absolutely.
Obviously, coming into the holiday season, we want to respect your guys' time. Once you finish up AEP, you're going to have some downtime. You're going to want to visit with family again. Christmas. Our offices will be closed the week between, was it Christmas and New Year's this year? I'm not sure how
Yep.
that works now because I think Christmas is in the middle of the week. I don't know. Our offices will be closed sometime between Christmas and New Year's, so we can get some rest too. But we are actively planning 2025 right now. We've got some really great ideas coming. So if you're not signed up for our newsletter that comes out, we send out an e-blast every week. You can also sign up to receive text messages from us. Go to our website, nccagent.com, go to contact us, and then you can sign up there for both the emails and the text messaging. That'll be the best way to get a hold of us or to stay in contact with us, because we send out one pagers, guides, blog posts, and any sort of relevant information that comes through the industry. If something changes, if we add carriers, a carrier leaves, those types of things, we usually send those out in an e-blast.
Yeah, we can absolutely share our contact information. It'll probably be easier if we just shoot out an email to you guys at the end of this call. That way you have
Yeah.
both of our full contact informations. Um, And if you need anything else from there, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, we're happy to help. You guys are out there doing the hard work, so we want to make it as easy for you as possible. I do hope that you have a great day. Happy holidays, and we will talk to you come 2025. Have a great day, guys.